Okay, good morning. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. Let us get to work here real quick. Uh, for information about the room or anything we talk about in the video, that's how you get a hold of me. Trade and Perform at gmail.com. So, first, let's get started by kind of taking a look at the profiles really quick. So, if you look, we're just on this slow, gradual decline down. Like, the obvious target is just underneath this 4415 to 4400 area if it just keeps slowly melting. But you'll notice the majority of the days, like if you look within those, very few days are closing at the low. And those that do close at the low, those that do close at the low, we and you got to remember this is overnight and U.S. session. But what you'll notice overwhelmingly is that when we close at the low, we're getting reversals off of them the following session, even in the overnight. If you look like, oh, we closed near the low, look, we trade up almost constantly off the bottoms, whether it's overnight or during the U.S. session. You can actually say the same for when we close at the high of a session. There's very few that follow through, right? And if you look at if we go back a little bit, if you look at patterns held true, like this is Globex, we go into the U.S. Open, we close at the low. Later in the day or almost immediately after, we push up. We close at the low on the following session. If you look where the next day closes, like I'm looking from here to here, right? Close at the low, push down a little bit, push up again, close near the low here. So the way this worked was overnight it pushed up and then it pushed down. But if you'll notice, even within that U.S. session, if you got bearish, right? If you got bearish, yes, it rolled down right out of the gate. But if you look, the majority of the rotations right up till the very end of the day were to the upside, right? So again, even though we're coming down, that characteristic um, is holding strong. The difference is when it does it on the upside, it can just keep going in a strong up market. So um, the variation on that pattern is that when we're going down, we almost always find a way to find responsive buyers back up, right? Like you'll see this session closed at the low overnight. We ended the session near the high the following session, right? Which is why if you look on Friday, see how we closed down in the, um, so we closed in the bottom third, which is my first clue. And then we actually closed at the low in the overnight session going into the U.S. Open. And if you'll look, we closed. It doesn't mean we're going to reverse and take all this back. It just means where the market's likely to close is well off the lows, whatever the lows end up being intraday, right? So that's what I'm tracking, and I would expect the same thing. So that the key is just finding where it's going to reverse out of, right? That's really the key to look at, right? So now the next key within that construct, and I'm just talking profile here. I'm not even going into the algo yet. If you look on Friday on ES, I'll show the same thing with NQ in a minute. Is two things. You'll notice that once we're able to stop one timing, so the market stops one timing right here, right? So from that point on ES, you'll notice that, so for shorts, you can actually short on pushes back up. But then the same is true when we start one timing to the downside here. It's 1, 2, 3. Then on the fourth bar, 2 hours later, we stop one timing. And you'll notice the retraces back in all get responsive buys in here, right? So I'm going to show you what that looks like by this measure. No, damn, I forgot. If I did that, I would leave a whole scar of. Cleaned it up pretty well. So I'm going to show you. If you look, so these are going to be one timing bars, right? So we stop one timing to the upside here, we'll color it whatever, white. Okay, and then we start one timing to the downside here. So it's actually on this bar, right? The completion of that bar. So we'll color that dark blue. Okay, so and then this one should be over one. And so I'll go discuss that. So we'll go look at ES real quick. So once you look at that on ES, and we go back to Friday's price action, so you'll see this is where we stopped one timing to the upside was where that white line is. That's where, from a 30-minute perspective, right? So then you'll notice as it pushes back up, the what we're really looking for is a triangle down with a purple bar. We didn't get it, but you got star down, triangle down, which is strong, and it rolls to the other side of the range. Now, when you get right over here, you stop one timing to the downside, right? So now you're going to notice the apex traps start to, this isn't during New York lunch, by the way. You'll notice the apex trap works, star, triangle up, doesn't lift so much, but the purple bar, triangle down, triangle up, right? And on ES, it can be second to last. That lifts, and then you'll notice the apex trap on that. That lifts as well, and that kicks us into a two-sided market. It's just a way to start monitoring, hey, who's in control, and when can I come back. You'll notice that if you had wanted to short, right, from a trading perspective, there was a couple of ways to have done that, but the most effective way would have been to wait, since we were one timing to the upside. If you'll notice, you could have waited for this entire roll down. This is a 50-60 retrace, and it was also back into unfair pricing if memory serves. Here, actually, we can go look. File. Give it just a second. It'll open up. Okay, so without redrawing everything, okay, so this was overnight unfair pricing. So now you kind of have a lay of the land of what it looks like. So this is where we stop one timing to the upside. You can see it went back to the prior day's volume point of control, rejects out of there, and pushes lower. This is also where we stop one timing to the downside. So you can see we came back, see where there's a crease right here? And then if you look at the setups, the one that worked the best, see how you had the purple bar, triangle down, and then the plus sign up, right? So that gets a lift. That's the best, one of the best combos that we have on ES or on the 24 tick on NQ, not the 15 tick, right? So it lifts, but really the best trade was when we came out, took out the apex, and we trapped back on that, which had the triangle down purple bar, right? And then again, you'll see the purple bar with the triangle up over the pink bar. That gave the best lift of the afternoon. That was a run from 75 up to 89. It was really just a beautiful trade back to the upside, right? So these are the things that we're looking for. This was less desirable. Why? Even though we'd stopped one timing, you're trading in fair pricing, right? But this was an unfair pricing, right? And gave you a beautiful rotation, beautiful rotation back up. And then the other thing that this was that was important was this was the 50-60 price retracement from high to low. And you'll notice this kind of chopped around through New York lunch, but this is coming out of New York lunch. They tried one more time to push down on it. We're going to discuss the waves. It's not worth it. But once we got this, we go supernova. We trap on the purple bar, triangle down, and and then the attempt is to take it to unfair price down the other side. It obviously didn't make it, but it's still a 12-point trade, right? And if you look through here, what reverses it? Triangle down, which is a substitute for the purple bar, pink bar plus sign up at 10:30, and that also lifts it 10 points. You don't have to play to the short side at all. So what are we looking for in ES today? Variations on beating the purple bar, the triangle down, and the star down with a triangle up and a lift, and the various apex traps that go along with them for pumps to the upside, right? That's what we're looking for in ES. Now go do so you should be repeating. So let me talk about tilt for a second. and frustration, right? So you should have a list in front of you. The first thing in your list should say, I want to trade in unfair pricing. Now, if you're having a difficult time distinguishing between the 5 minute trigger and the unfair pricing, I believe you're better off with just worrying about the unfair pricing. Okay. Don't go through there and don't go through and try to combine so chunking information is a thing, right? What we're doing is we're taking all kinds of little bits of information, and at first when you're learning something, right? This is for anybody. When you're learning something like, let's see something, so driving a car, right? So driving a car, you're putting your foot on the gas pedal, you're steering the steering wheel, you're looking in your rearview mirrors, and and then you got to know where the brake pedal is, and if those of you who drive a clutch, you got to know where the clutch is, and first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc., etc. Now, when you first start learning to drive, um, so I remember when I was learning how to race go karts, and I was so involved with the operation of the machine that I had no idea where I was on the track, right? Like I was all over the place, like I was terrible, right? But I'm trying to remember how to shift, where the clutch is, what gear I'm in, because it's a sequential gearbox, where the brakes are, where the brake bias is. It's a lot of stuff to go through. But after a while, all that stuff just becomes a work in progress, right? You're like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do the third thing, I'm going to do the fourth thing. And it's all simple and easy, right? So it's the same way. So if you can't make the distinction, the default is, am I in unfair pricing of some sort, right? Look, if you can't find any kind of unfair pricing on your charts or someplace else, and you can't figure out the rest of the puzzle, just go, I'm not going to take the trade, right? Next. And it's really important. So I want everyone to hear. I'm going to pause for a second. I want everyone to hear this. Find out what your tilt is. Okay? Find out what your tilt is. Become intimate with it. Okay? Become intimate with it. Know what the first signs are. So I'm going to tell you what my signs of tilt are. I'm going to use this chart. Oop, I had the right chart. Sorry. My signs of tilt are this. Let's say I make a judgment error. I think the triangle up is over the purple bar, and I didn't make a good distinction that it's not a 3-bar combo, and it's really not the way I wanted it, and it was right on the edge of unfair pricing, and I take the trade right here, right? So my next step is, ooh, I made a mistake, right? I made a mistake. And instead of just closing the trade out, I go, well, that wasn't the trade I was looking for, but it can just go right here, and I'll get out profitably, right? But then it comes, and usually relatively quickly, and just stops me out, right? I feel betrayed by the market at that point. That's what the best word would be to use for the feeling I experience, is I feel betrayed at that point, right? And the market owes me. So that's step one. And then I want to get the money back very quickly, right? So then I see the purple bar. So I know if you can find a purple bar at the first or second to last bar, that you can get a reversal. So I see that purple bar and I go, ooh, you know what? Forget waiting for the reversal. That's going to be one of those where the purple bar is the last bar in the row, and I'm just going to buy it at the close of the purple bar because I know the next bar is up, and then I know the triangle up, and then I know it goes up here. That's my pattern of tilt, right? And so, of course, I get stopped, and then I re-enter, and then it stops me again, and then I go, oh, it's triangle down. Well, it's going to be triangle down, higher low, bar up. I buy the triangle down. This is my tilt. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you what it is that I know my impulses want to do, right? Stopped again. I'm really getting frustrated. Well, I don't want to take a third stop, so I don't take the triangle down, pink bar up. The one trade I should have taken, right? I don't take that because I don't want to take a third stop. Now I'm mad, right? Now I'm mad because it's going up, and I go, oh, well, now let me adjust. That's triangle down, pink bar up. I'm going to take that, put my stop right here, and I get stopped. Now it's 4 stops in a row. And it may sound like, hey, I'm making this up. I guarantee you this has happened to me and other people in the room, right? Because it's that first step where you're out of process and it just daisy chains all the way through there and pushes you out. And so then I go, damn, now I'm down 3 stops and it's 10:57 a.m. Well, I can't take the triangle up over the triangle down, even though that's the trade I should have waited for, the one back over here, right? or the apex trap on the double pink triangle up, and then it goes. I go, why didn't I take it? Well, it was New York lunch, right? And so I'm left stewing over here, just pissed as can be, right? And then I'm likely to screw it up over here again, right? So what do you do? What do you do? So the first time you recognize that there's a mistake, hit the exit button and pause for 30 minutes and find out what drove you to take the trade off process. Are you unfocused, right? Do you want the profit more than you want the process? Totally possible and acceptable, by the way, to want the profit more than the process. Okay? Are you just inches from a goal and go, well, if I can just push it across here, I know I've got it and I'm done, right? I don't have to sit here for another 2 hours to get the goal done. This happens very often after trading successfully for multiple days, right? So get the first trade right? And then in your process, envision not only getting it right, but also envision getting that first trade stopped and taking the second trade correctly and having it work, right? That's the best way to keep you off tilt. I actually have a picture right here on my desk of what my successful trades actually look like. Like I have arrows drawn to them. They're in color. Taking the Kinko. I have them sitting right here. What am I looking for? Oh, I see. Triangle up that completely clears purple bar. This is what I'm looking for. And I have the rules for both the 15, the 24, and ES, all written down separately so I can stop and look like, hey, did you follow these things? Did you take them in unfair pricing? Are you in supernova? Just small, quick checklist things, right? And if you can't figure out what are when these trades set up as supernova in the top part of the channel, there's an easy fix for that. Even though it'll leave you out of some trades, just make sure the thing's touching the fourth channel and it's cleared the purple bar and the triangle up. That's a pretty simple rule, right? Now, remember, just because we're day traders doesn't mean that we have to constantly trade, right? As a matter of fact, it's better if you're not constantly trading, okay? So keep that in mind. Calibrate that it's Monday, right? It's slower on Mondays, right? People aren't as big a rush. This is what this looks like on NQ on Friday. And when you look back at the end of the day, right? So look from the AM session, and notice I'm not even making it complex, right? I'm just going through this process of going down here. Here's 846, purple bar, it's 15 tick, triangle up. Purple bar, fourth channel, triangle up. Purple bar, triangle up. Star down, triangle up. That's in the first. That's in that first half hour, right? And then as you come along here, right. So watch, you're going to get a stop somewhere in here. I know you are. It's got to touch the fourth channel. Okay, triangle down. Right, triangle down. Gray bar, triangle up, plus sign. No dice. That is not a trade, right? So if you're trading on the 15, you just missed that, right? Now come over here. They push. Now, how do you feel if you didn't take that and it was a 4-bar combo? How do you feel? I feel robbed a lot of times, right? So just put that down in your list of that sucks if you're trading the 15, right? Then when you come over here, triangle down, purple bar, not in a 3-bar combo. This is purple bar, right? Purple bar, neutral bar, triangle up. This 3-bar combo, none of the 3 bars hit the fourth channel. You come down, another purple bar, triangle up, but it was in a 4-bar combo, right? Not the highest odds. So you can literally be experiencing like, man, this just sucks, right? Triangle down, plus size. I might have gotten a scale on this. I might have gotten stopped, right? Come on down. Triangle down, purple bar, triangle up. I probably got a scale out of there at best, right? Again, not considering anything else. I'm just looking at the purple bar and the triangle up. No triangle up over here, right? So let me tell you, I could have made a mistake here. This is star down, star up, and I would have said, hey, there should have been a triangle up, and I could have gotten stopped right there. Right now, notice we're at this seam. Hey, I'm going to throw this in. This seam became important, right? Notice on the reversal, I want to show you why this is important. Notice on the reversal, I don't get my setup here. I do get my setup here, right? Triangle down, purple bar, plus sign, long, right? And now what am I looking for? I'm looking for the apex trap with the triangle up. And so this turns out, this is the only place where you can wait for the triangle up. It can be 4 or 5 bars. The triangle up after this apex trap is what you're looking for the lift, right? And then you're going to see in the afternoon, I want to show y'all as it comes back in. And I drew a line to this because my wife was out here talking with me. Star down, triangle up, right there. See this? I actually remember drawing an arrow. Star down, triangle up, and then what would be the best on that? Getting an apex trap, and I think it actually missed the apex trap there. And then as you move over to the right here, again, this doesn't set up. Now I'm going to shift gears for a second. Watch. Was it the 24? I'm going to go through the same trades on the 24 tick. Okay, so on the 24 it can be second to last, triangle up. Okay, comes down, purple bar, triangle up. That would have been a stop, right? This comes out of a 4-bar combo, no dice, purple bar, plus sign with the triangle up. That's legit. That's 853. Purple bar not touching the 4th channel, not even close, right? That's just a whiff. Purple bar, triangle up. That lifts. I'm just looking at the 4th channel, right? Purple bar, triangle up. That holds the low and lifts. Purple bar, triangle up. That touched the 4th channel. That's the middle New York lunch. That stops. It gave you a 1-bar lift, but it stops. Right? Purple bar, pink bar up on a 4-bar combo, which is legit on a 24. And the low holds there for the extension to the upside. And no entry over here at 1245. It's just not a deal. Right? And then you get this right over here. And then the apex trap of the purple bar with a triangle up gives you a lift at the end of the day. It's the end of the day. No one would have taken it. But I can go through that entire week, and I know that if I can get that purple bar second to last, or last in the case of the 24, and the same thing with the 5 tick or the 6 tick in the ES, I should be able to repeat that process over and over and over. Okay? That is what I'm looking for. And then I'm using the rest of my skills to know that, hey, are we pushing below a prior day's low? Is there sell pressure on this, etc., etc.? I'm going to close this real quick and finish off the adjusting the charts. Okay, so on ES, this is the unfair pricing. So I'm just going to adjust that. Clean the line there. Put the line here. We're going to redraw this. And then within that, single prints. And single prints. And then also watch the seams down here. We have minor econ at 9 a.m. and a Fed speaker at 10 a.m. So I'll reprint this. Let's see. Why isn't it allowing it? It does this almost every day. Let's see if we grabbed it. There we go. I'm good. I haven't had a problem. Tej, I would have you disconnected and reconnected. Yeah, I'll just wait till it works itself out. Um, and then let me get. Oh, I forgot to add. This is the TPO and volume point of control Friday. And then NQ. And then okay, there we go. That didn't work. That did. Cool. That's NQ updated. Big difference between ES and NQ. NVIDIA has numbers coming out this week. I'm not sure what day they do, but it's sometime this week. Was the biggest thing I saw on the menu. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. Touch that prior day's low into the single prints and rock and roll for 50 points. Big first volume bar on NQ. Just to give you an idea of where we're at. We're still in the bottom of that channel. Anyone have any questions over what we discussed this morning? It is so important that you keep your tilt in front of you. It wipes out weeks and weeks of work. One bad day. You got to know exactly what it looks like, when it's coming, what the first feelings are that you're having about it. And the first sign of frustration, I'm telling you, pause it. It hurts to lose the money. Okay? That's all I can say. It hurts to lose the money. So what you can do in the first half hour, even if you're not trading, practice. Like, does it clear the purple bar or not clear? Like, there's no way. Like, I would not call a one tick clear that bar of clearing the purple bar, right? Look for it. Hey, when is it set up at the bottom? When does it apex trap on those full bar combos, etc., etc., so you don't get smacked. So this is where I put an example and go, it really didn't clear that bar and still work. So I know what to expect when that happens, and I can regulate my emotional response to that, right? This is the prior day's volume point of control. That's the natural target on balanced days. To push back to the prior day's volume point of control, we just accomplished that. This is a great target. It's a very hard place to trade. And then your ultimate target is at 15,119.75. And on ES, now the 44.78, followed by the 44.93.75. See how they're whipping through that volume point of control? I don't know where they're driving it, but they're driving it. And the cool thing is, I know because it's in that fair pricing that they can do that. Like that's not an abnormal behavior, right? So it's okay. I know what they really want to get is that 15/1/1975. Oh, sorry, on the ES. There we go. Yeah, still has some room to work. That 1975 is a target or better. And NQ is only up 15. ES is only down 4, so not much change or stretch one way or the other. So I'm going to post the market preview, guys. And I'll record whatever else we need going forward.